Everyone, my name is SiC. Welcome back to Factorio Space Age, where we are on Aquilo and we have just unlocked the ability to make cryogenic plants. And for that I'm figuring I should put a dedicated building area. So we're going to have some assembly machines and we're going to have some requester chests requesting all of the materials necessary. And we also need refined concrete. So we are shipping in regular concrete. And we should probably ship in refined concrete as well. Or we can try to make it, but we don't have steel here, or an iron. And there's no way of getting steel and iron here unless we import it. So that is going to be a little bit tricky, but also, I don't know, maybe we don't need a whole ton of these materials to automatically craft. So maybe it's okay to do it like so, like we are doing right now. But let's go ahead and dedicate a little area. I guess we can do it here, because I want to leave some room for expansion, is the idea. Right, so we're going to have these chests, and we're going to have two blue requester chests. And these things are going to ask for the required materials. So we're going to need 20 of these. We're going to need a couple of other things that I'm just going to input. Superconductors, processing units, lithium plates, and refined concrete. So yeah, we're going to get some lithium plates. We're going to get 20 of those, I guess, and then that means we need to put these things into a chest as well. So we need a red one for that, and then I'll set this up and I'll be right back. And we're back in trouble with this Aquilo rocket, so I'm going to have to reload here just a little bit and see if I can save this, unfortunately. Now, it seems a primary problem is that we don't have enough water to keep the power going. These things are just too hungry, and so, yeah, that is an issue. We do seem to get a decent amount of ice. They reach almost towards the back. But it's just not going fast enough. Look at that, like we produce every bit that we can, but we're just not producing enough ice. And the problem with that is essentially we're not producing enough oxide chunks anyway. We even have the bonus production in here, though we might want to change these out actually. Maybe do it like that and be a little bit less efficient in terms of energy, but just have more ice coming out of it, because that is just incredibly important. So let's see what we can do with that. In the meantime, I've paused this ship, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Why can you not take this out? I guess we don't have enough of these efficiency modules then. But that's okay. I'll just continue doing this and I'll be right back again. And we have cryogenic science packs unlocked because we made our very first cryogenic plant. So let's have a look. Let's place this thing down. That looks huge. Actually, let's put it a little bit closer to the heat. Where did I just lose this in my inventory? I'm blind. There we go. Let's put this next to the heat so that we can see this in its full glory. Look at that. Alright, and so what are we going... Yeah, this can make cryogenic plants itself as well, which is interesting. Crafting speed 2, pollution 6, meat... Yes. We are in trouble again. We're going to Navis and we're just completely out of power, which is crazy. Like, we have sunlight here again, but we are just not getting what we need. Now we're almost there, so we're going to be okay. This is going to survive, but like, yeah, without power we're not going to be able to have yeah, ammo in the turrets, and so we're going to have problems like this. We have full belts of materials, and yet look at this shit. That is just horrible. Anyway, we're almost there, and then this is going to get fixed, but this is a huge issue, which funnily enough hasn't happened yet with this one for some reason. and I'm not entirely sure why. Like, we have a full amount of water here, and maybe because the route is shorter, or I don't know, it's weird. Just a bit strange. We've almost arrived though with more superconductors and holmium plates, so that's nice. And yeah, alright, so what can we do here? What do we need for the cryogenic science pack? We need ice, we need lithium plates, we need fluoroketone, and then we're going to be making cryogenic science packs, and we're going to make hot fluoroketone. Alright, so that is manageable, I think, for the science pack. And then we need to be able to cool this down, so cooling that happens in a cryogenic plant as well, and then we can make more fluoroketone. And where do we even make the fluoroketone, I wonder? Because we can cool it, and I guess in a chemical plant, just to check, can we make hot fluoroketone? Or fluoroketone itself? Doesn't look like it. Which is interesting, because where does that come from? Fluoroketone is made in cryogenic plants. Alright, so we just need that, and then later it gets cooled or something. Solid fuel, lithium, fluorine, and ammonia. Okay. Interesting. And here we need cold fluoroketone. Alright, so we'll make it hot, and then in another one we can cool it down. And that is what we need for the cryogenic plants, and then it produces hot stuff again. Interesting. Oh, well, now the first biter attack in a really long time in Navis. That is interesting. I haven't had like a damage pop up in ages. They still attack, they just never really make it that far. And that's interesting. Look at that. These guys though, I think, do these attack even? No, they don't even attack because they're not in the pollution cloud. That is very interesting. Alright, so what are we going to be doing here? I guess we're going to start trying to make fluoroketone. Yes, alright, so we're going to need a couple of these. And another thing I realized is I was working on the quality setup on Navis. But then I got distracted because we didn't have the materials that we needed, right? We were going to go ahead and do that here. And that is an issue because now we can continue, but yeah, so let's see. Can we actually build these? Do we have them on the planet? I wonder. I'll just order them and we'll see if something pops up, because I do think I shipped them up here. We do have them in here. And then we are waiting for this stuff to fill back up before flying back. I see. And then we should drop this to Navis. In the meantime, back on our spaceship, I'm hooking up the water tanks to the circuit network, because I think what we need to do here is we need to add another condition here. So we can add another circuit condition, and that one is going to have to look for water. And the water should also be, well, let's say over 5K. Like that. We'll drag this up here. And then that means they cannot fly away from Aquilo unless we have this. And I guess we'll do the same with the stop in Gliba. Though actually it should probably be this one right here. Yeah, so we'll have water, sorry, that one, over 5,000. And if not, you cannot fly from Gliba to Aquilo, because here is where the problem really arises. So from here we're going to Gliba, right? And then we're going to wait for the 5K of water. And of course here we are still waiting for the requests to be fully made. But this should hopefully make sure that we don't run out of power halfway through. And then we should probably do the same thing for this rocket right here. So I'll set it up and then I'll be right back. Meanwhile, we are up for an interesting puzzle. So we are going to have to get a few inputs here. So we need 2 inputs of the fluorine, which we have over here in storage. We need 1 input of the ammonia, which we need to get from over here, which I guess we can route from here and then down through this area. So that should not be a problem. And then we have the storage of the hot fluoroketone, which will go into tanks over here. And then we have a couple of inputs, and then all of that needs to be heated. So yeah, we need an input of lithium, and we need an input of solid fuel, which is going to be an interesting challenge for sure. So I think what we need to do here is we need to leave some space for heat pipes to go through here. So we'll go ahead and do this, and then those things are going to get hooked up. Similar to this. They're going to be connected with underground belts, and I guess on this yeah, we'll have an output right there going like so, and then from here to there, and then we'll have some regular pipes, and of course we'll have to heat this, and then I need some more of these heat pipes myself. So we'll drag that out to here, and then let's go down like so, and like so, and then we'll have our heat pipes. And our inputs we need to consider carefully, because we cannot do it here right now. We could input something right here, and I guess right here if we have an underground belt going like so, and then from here to there, and then that will work. And then we just need to heat this like so. This one needs to go 1 further, so that is going to work, but we probably need a couple more things than that. And I guess we need to make some space here as well, because we will probably want to, yeah, let's leave some space in the middle. Let's go a little bit further out, because we need heat pipes and we need long-handed inserters. So we're going to go ahead and go like this, so that then we can have a belt like so, and then heat pipes going all the way down like so. And then if we have an underground belt right here, we can even continue down like so. And of course these need to be connected. This might be an issue, because now we need, let's see, this one can go down, this one can go up, like so. Then we have those two, and this can go down. I guess this one can go up like so, though we might want to go like this. It's tricky, isn't it? Like, we need to heat this one thing in the corner, and I want this to be extendable. So that's the problem here, is I want to have an underground pipe being able to go, or I want to be able to have an underground pipe continue in this way. And I guess that is the same issue right here. Like, we don't have enough space in between. So one of these actually needs to be further to the left by 1 tile. So if we go ahead and grab this, and then we'll go like so, and that makes everything better. So I'll just have to rehook or like hook everything up again anew. But that's going to be worth it, I think. Actually, I don't need to remove those. Ah, crap. I should have... like this, I think. And then we can go... sorry, with an underground pipe from here to here. And then, yeah, we can put heating through. Like so. Perfect. And then this one is going to go like this and so on. I'll set this up and I'll be right back. And this, I think, should be a pretty decent setup that is also scalable. So yeah, I think this is going to work out. All we need to do now is hook up the ammonia and put in the solid fuel and the lithium, all of which are already made, though probably not in sufficient quantities, because this is very, very slow. So we need to expand upon this system, but yeah, I think we can just put in a splitter here. Right, and then I need to reroute this heat pipe a little bit, I think. So that we can go like this. Okay, and we'll have to keep these heated, so that's fine. But we can go ahead and put an underground belt here, and then here, like so. Hook this up, and then we just need to go like so. And of course all of that needs to be heated, which we can do easily. Let's hook these up as well. That is one thing. We have this hooked up. We need storage tanks, so I do need to expand a little bit my area here. Well, we need more concrete than we have, because this stuff is very slow. Like, we need to... yeah, this is not even functioning right now, which kind of sucks. I think we need to probably send this to Nauvis and then add a circuit condition here as well for the water, because otherwise it's just going to go. Leave this thing again, and Nauvis is the only place where we can collect asteroids without having to destroy some asteroids, because right now we're using up all the power with our lasers, and that is an issue. So I think if we send this thing to Nauvis, it will just be able to sit there in orbit, collect asteroid bits, and we will basically produce enough water so that we can leave again. That is my hope. Then, yeah, so the ammonia, I'm going to have to connect that up, so that is going to be an interesting challenge. And we're going to go ahead and go from here, though I will probably go from here to there, like so. And then somehow we'll go from here to here. Now we can come out there. And we should probably have some engines as well, I think. Alright, so this one needs to be a little bit further so that we don't get interrupted. We'll get some pipes like so. Up. And then from here, you can go sideways. Alright, this is automatic. We're going to Nauvis. This is Aquilo Rocket 1 again. That's fine. You're in Nauvis almost, so we're safe. And we can ignore that for the time being, anyway. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and send this up. Oh, this is still heated, that's nice, but we will run into trouble with this one. We can, no, we need this one. And then we need that one, and then that is fine. And then we can go along this pipe. And let's see, we are going to go like so. Down and sideways. This one is going to extend a little bit, and then we're going to extend these ones a little bit. And like that. I think we're still missing a thing, right? This is not heated. Right, so we'll heat that, and now this stuff is flowing. I think, yeah, I was going to say, I think I'm going to need some engines here so that we can control the throughput, but it doesn't seem like we have much of a problem. All that is left right now is solid fuel, which we are making in abundance, but it kind of stops here, which is a problem. So we could either do this by robot, which I don't think is something we want to do, or I can see if I can route this whole thing towards the left, which is also going to be a little bit tricky with how everything is set up, but I think we should be able to manage. So let's go ahead and put a splitter in here, because this is heated, and then some underground belts like so. That works perfect. And yeah, and I'll just try to route this over in that direction, and then I'll be right back. And I managed, which is perfect. We have solid fuel here now, and that also leads me to consider making a heating tower, though we might still have some. What do we need for heating tower? Boilers. And do we have heating towers here? Yes, we do. Alright, because yeah, over here you can see this stuff is getting slightly lower in temperature, and so a heating tower I think would do quite well if we have space for it. Like, we can even hook it up to this particular heat pipe, and all we need is a inserter. And there we go. This is going to heat everything up, and all of these pipes are going to be that much hotter, which is really nice. And then here, I need to remake this system a little bit. There we go. Now this thing can reach it, and we are making fluoroketone, which, of course, like I said, we still need to store. So have we... no, we don't have anything more, I think. Well, we do have some, somewhere we have some in storage, I guess, because I am being brought new stuff, which is nice. But yeah, I'm going to have to get some storage tanks up and running, and I guess from here this is going to be fine. Like so. We're going to get an underground pipe to go right here. And I guess this doesn't really matter, we can just make it pipes because this is the cheaper way to do it. And now we can heat these pipes, or these storage tanks, like so. And I suppose over here we won't be able to do anything quite yet because we don't have concrete, so I cannot lay down the heat pipes, but that is something we can do in the next bit, or actually we can do it now as well. Like if we do it like this, leave some space for underground belts, of course, or do put one in the middle, and then we have those two, and that works. And then we can still put underground pipes wherever we need them. Alright, so we are making fluoroketone. Nice. Very small amounts, so this is something we need to scale up. And also, yeah, I think we have enough ammonia and fluorine. Lithium is also doing pretty well, honestly. So I think, yeah, I just need to make this a couple of times again, and I'll see if I can go ahead and copy this layout. So we need those pipes for sure. Like this, maybe. And then we can paste this over here. And then we're just going to run into some storage space problems. But we can remove some of these storage tanks and then redo it like that. And then we're going to go ahead. I need some more of these heat pipes as well. And I'll set up 2 more of these and then I'll be right back. Another problem I'm realizing we might have is that this stack of crushers most of the time was standing still, and it was because they were not getting enough of the carbonic asteroid chunk. So what I've done, because yeah, I was getting some out of here, but that clearly wasn't enough. And so I have put in another inserter on the end right there, and it is going to insert right onto this belt of this stack. And this one is going to stop if there are ever going to be, well, if there are less than 50 on this belt. So if there are more than 50, it's going to stop, I think. Yes, because it requires less than 50 to work. So every once in a while it's just going to be able to grab carbonic chunks off of this main belt. We are stopped at Liba right now, but I think I'm going to go back to Nauvis just to get things running again, because waiting for this material to start is kind of annoying. But yeah, if this starts working more, it means we will have more chances of oxide asteroid chunks being produced and being put onto this belt. And I think overall that should work out for the best. The same thing over here, we grab 1 asteroid oxide chunk, and then maybe this shouldn't always be working because it takes away an asteroid chunk. So our input here, maybe we need to do it like this. Right, and it's going to be a little bit annoying to set this up, but it's what it is. And it might not even fit for all of them, because these ones are in the way. But then we're going to say hold all belts, and we're going to copy paste that for everyone. You can see a little blue light turning on. And then this is going to enable if there are oxide asteroid chunks, only if we have more than, say, 50. And I'm going to copy paste that to every single one of these, and that means these are only going to be working, or hold on, and we are out of power. Yeah, because we don't have water. And then, alright, that's fine. We're going to Nauvis, and then we're going to get some more power again, I guess. I also removed some of the laser turrets to save on the power that we are using, because yeah, I think it helps to do a little bit of damage that is extra, but the predominant damage should still come from our turrets, I think. So that is just a little thing that we need to work on. But now that we are standing still here, yeah, I think these might have destroyed oxide asteroid chunks, and you know, sometimes ends up in one of these two, and it's not necessarily something that makes more of these. So I think, yeah, we only want these to run in case we have more than 50 on that belt. And hopefully that is going to mean that we are going to be able to store some of this water again. And already it seems to me, with this small change, we seem to be producing more ice. So let's see what this results in, because that would be really, really nice if we could make that happen. And then eventually this thing, because I'm waiting for concrete to continue on Aquilo, it's super annoying because it's not really working. This thing needs to be above 8K. As soon as this thing is completely full, I guess, this water tank will start to fill up as well. So, like this can fill up to 25K, which is the problem. This thing is already completely full. So we also use water for this, so I guess that is fine. And here with the speed module, yeah, I don't know, man. It's tricky. It's tricky. We're just fine-tuning the problems that we all don't always know exist. But yeah, this is working. It's producing. We have enough ice to have all of these running, basically. which is really cool because it's been a while since we had it. And I guess this is also slowly filling up, so that is nice. You can see it is hovering around 23, but now it's 25, and it goes up and down a little bit because it gets used. But this is promising. And here in Avis we don't need to rely too much on the steam turbines and our nuclear reactors because we have plenty of solar panels on the ship right now. So hopefully this is going to work out. And from here, I guess we do have almost all of the requests. There are 300 more on the way. Pretty soonish I'm going to try to send it back here and see if we can make the journey all right. In the meantime though, we have access to recyclers on Nauvis, and I think it's high time that we started using them. So what we have here is we are taking these rare asteroid collectors and putting them in here. We haven't got them yet though, and so we're taking the regular asteroids and the uncommon ones and putting them on this belt, and those will need to get recycled. So we're going to go ahead and set up some recyclers here, like so. That is going to output some materials. And those materials need to be distributed across these belts again, I think. So let us see what that produces. So we're going to put a substation there, and then these materials, I'm not sure, these things should break down to these 3 items again, I think. And they do indeed. Alright, so and then what we can do is try to use these materials again to make more asteroid collectors, I guess. So if we go like this, we'll go down like so, and then we'll go over here. Right, and these are all being distributed. Like these ones are all being put on this side of the belt, so we're going to have these come out onto that side of the belt, and then they're going to get sorted again. And then we'll go ahead and put these in here. Now I'm sure this is not the best design, but I'm trying to do something quickly here. So it is what it is. Though here, of course, we are going to need quality modules. And these have quality module 2s, which we handcrafted while we were there, I think. So that is something. And I guess we are going to need another one of these. Like so. And those will be recycled. And then, yeah, okay, these are very slow, so we're going to add a couple more of these so that the process can go much faster. All right, so basically, we don't want this last machine to even be running if we can prevent it. That would be the best. And then we'll put some more of these in there. There we go. Maybe some lights, because lights are always good. There we go. Now this will keep running eternally. And I think that is going to work out just fine. And eventually we're going to have some of those high quality rare asteroid collectors. It's going to take some time, and this is really where you want to scale things up to an incredibly big degree probably, but we're not going to do that today. So I will see if we can get this Aquilo rocket back into space anytime soon. We have some water accumulating, so that's a positive sign. And I think all we really need is for this thing to just be flying. And let's see if we can make it to Aquilo. We made it all the way back to Aquilo, which is great. There's also a lot of more oxide asteroids out here, so that means we will have a lot more of this stuff in store, I think, and that means, yeah, more ice being produced. Look at that, this belt is completely full now, which is absolutely perfect, because then that means this thing is always running, and we should slowly see an increase in the amount of water being produced. However, maybe we should get rid of some of these, and then we'll see if we can make another little row. Actually, let's go ahead and do it like this. That will be perfect. And then if we can get the ice melting recipe right there, like when this thing gets back to Navis, that might be a nice solution, though we do need to see if we can get that water connected over to here, which I think we can. Like if we remove some of these, we could get it connected up to here, right? Set up a little something like so. And we actually got it from our planet of Aquilo, which is even better. Alright, so how do we do this? Alright, so we need an underground belt right here, and then this thing can go like so. This can go like that. We need these two right there. All we need to do then is put a splitter in here. And have some inserters running. And let's put some of these in here for the extra productivity. And that means we now have more water coming in. So this is a stopgap measure, but it works, so I'm happy with that. It just means our production capability went up a little bit, and we have 1.k water in the tank right now, which is absolutely perfect, because that means we are running positive again. This thing I think we're not going to wait for. We're just going to go ahead and fly to Gliba, because we have some in the tank, which means power is not an issue right now, and we can just fly back to here, and hopefully we'll not run into any more problems. And also, because it managed to get over here, we have access to this concrete again, which means we can finally expand a little bit our production. So, right, we're going to heat this up. Do it like so, and this thing is almost full, and we need to put some more of these cryogenic plants to work to cool this stuff down again. And for that we need just more cryogenic plants. Basically we have 4 right here, and I guess we're going to do that down here. So I'll get some concrete and I'll start laying down some concrete down over here. And then we'll have these cryogenic plants. Let's see, just like this is going to be fine. And here we're going to select the cooling. We just need to turn these a little bit, like so, because all we really need here is the pipes. Maybe these should be a little bit further away so that we can actually look at that. So we can do it like that. We need to be able to put a heat pipe through here, and then we can continue like so. Of course, we are going to need some power stations. Do that like so. And of course, all of this is going to require heat, so that is another thing that we will set up. Like so. We'll heat these up. Heat this up like so, and I guess right here we'll go like so. And then I guess here we could go with an underground pipe as well, though it's not strictly necessary. We'll get some heat up and running in here. Alright, with that, all we need next is some storage space, which I guess we are going to go ahead and do like right here maybe. And we'll keep going down a little bit down this way. Though I guess, yeah, we'll have to use some bots. And we need some ice platforms, which we do have, so. Not sure, yeah, the robots are going to bring it. So that's fine. And then, because I'm sure this is not going to be enough, because it never is. We'll just have to make sure that this is expandable. Alright, so we just need to set up the heat for this. Like so. And tricky stuff. Alright, I'll set it up and I'll be right back. Gold fluoroketone is now also being made and stored, and with that I think we might have enough to start producing our cryogenic science packs. And we do indeed. Alright, so we need ice, lithium plates and fluoroketone. However, I'm not going to do that this episode. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment below if you enjoyed this content and wish to see more. And I will see you guys for whatever video I do next.